Yeah, sure. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it's very clear. Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I'm going to start with a brief introduction of myself and my research. My name is Azadeh Mozafarianpour. I have a PhD in TEFL from Al-Zahra University in Tehran. I am a lecturer at Al-Turath University in Baghdad, Iraq. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present my research and share it with other fellow researchers and colleagues. My research is entitled Exploring the Impact of Synchronous Computer-Mediated Communication, SCMC, on students writing fluency quantitative analysis. So, as an introduction, everybody knows that growing reliance on online education has accelerated adoption of innovative technologies and forced educators to rethink and redesign teaching methods. And research on online education and L2 learning has expanded studies on its impact on language skill development and also investigated advantages and disadvantages of online instruction. As justification for the study, also Dr. Sahar Turki's research indicated that there is a complexity in research findings on online education. There are mixed results on the effectiveness of online compared to face-to-face learning. There are some studies which suggest it has more effect on language learners' learning outcomes and others which refute these findings. So the contentious debate surrounding the efficacy of online education, particularly in the realm of second language acquisition, prompts the need for an in-depth investigation to shed light on its impact on the learner's language learning. So the research question that we try to find an answer to is whether SCMC or synchronous computer-mediated communication is more effective in improving EFL learners' writing fluency than the traditional face-to-face interactional context. Our methodology is a quantitative research method utilizing a pre-test, post-test control group designed to assess students' writing fluency improvement. Participants in this study were an initial sample of 50 randomly selected female upper intermediate students from a language institute in Iran. They were randomly assigned to 2 experimental groups and 1 control group. Only 26 students completed the course until the end, so only data collected from those 26 students was analyzed and the results were reported. Participants' average age was 20 years old and their first language was Persian. So this is an overview of the procedure. It was a very long procedure. That's why I put it in this table for saving time. First, informed consent was obtained from participants. A background questionnaire adopted from Yilmaz 2008 was distributed to assess the students' familiarity with computers and technology. Results showed that all of the students had a computer or another electronic device and used it daily. 80% were satisfied with their typing skills. 98% had access to at least one social network, but limited familiarity was shown with Dropbox. Therefore, 4 preliminary training sessions were provided on using Dropbox and their mode of instruction for the online learners. After that, a placement test was utilized in order to evaluate their proficiency level. It was adopted from the University of Waterloo. It was a 70-minute handwritten essay exam. It assessed essay structure, clarity, grammar, and mechanics according to the rubric also provided by the university. The reliability of the test was confirmed through Cronbach's Alpha. Then participants were randomly assigned to two online groups. One of them was the IRC, or the Internet Relay Chat group. We selected WhatsApp for its commonality among all the learners. The other group was a more recent type of technology, which was a two-dimensional virtual learning environment. We used palacechat.org, a kind of online program for them, and the control group was a face-to-face instructional class. They received instruction in one of the classes at the institute. Then a pretest was delivered. Prompts and directions were given for fluent writing. Students had 2 minutes to think about and 8 minutes to write a letter recommending a dictionary to one of their friends. The teacher ensured continuous writing during the test. After 8 minutes, the stop sign was given and papers were collected. Then a 10th session of academic writing course was implemented. The experimental groups attended online classes twice a week. Pre-class materials were uploaded to Dropbox for preparation. Assignments were submitted via Dropbox after each session, and then they were collected there too. The WhatsApp-based text chat was a synchronous text-based discussion group. Teacher created group chat and saved the chat logs for further analysis. The two-dimensional group had discussions in Palace Chat, virtual classrooms, graphical avatars, virtual environments for learning. There was a virtual blackboard, seminar rooms, and discussion logs also, and the control group met at the institute twice a week. Lessons were presented via PowerPoint, and in-class discussions, homework assigned and returned physically. All groups took the handwritten pre-test and post-test under the same conditions. Writing fluency CBM curriculum-based measure was used for the assessment of students' writings, and then homework and class discussions were analyzed for further analysis. Data analysis was based on writing fluency CBM assessments for key metrics: total words written, words spelled correctly, correct word sequences, and total writing sequences. As you see, first Levine test confirmed normal data distribution and homogeneity of variances. Then one-way ANOVA test was conducted to compare the effect of mode of instruction on the writing fluency in the three conditions. For total words written, all three groups showed an improvement in the number of total words written after the experiment. This is the ranking. First two-dimensional group showed the highest amount of improvement. Second came the control group, and the IRC group showed the least degree of improvement in this regard. Words spelled correctly, most students had high spelling accuracy, which is likely due to their high English proficiency level. However, control group had the highest degree of improvement in spelling. Then the second place came the two-dimensional group, and the last group was the IRC group with the lowest degree of improvement in this regard. Correct writing sequences, then we had the two-dimensional group with the highest degree of improvement. The second group was the control group, and the IRC group came last in the amount of improvement in correct writing sequences. Finally, total writing sequences, participants from all three groups showed improvement in this regard, with two-dimensional coming first, control group second, and IRC group the third place. Overall writing fluency, the one-way ANOVA test showed a significant effect for mode of instruction on writing fluency in three categories only: total words written, words spelled correctly, total writing sequences, and correct. But for correct writing sequences, there was no significant effect observed for mode of instruction. This is the table. Post hoc results were obtained through LSD test. It showed statistically significant differences between the IRC group and the other two groups in those three dimensions or categories. The IRC group showed greater improvements in scores compared to two-dimensional and face-to-face groups after the instructional intervention. So the conclusion of this research is that mode of instruction had a significant effect on the number of words written, total writing sequences, and correctly spelled words. And students using WhatsApp produced longer texts with more correctly spelled words, maybe because of their familiarity with this mode of instruction. So the key findings of this study show that a better effect for the online instructional method over the face-to-face method in improving students' writing fluency, because there are some contradicting results also mentioned by Dr. Sahar. More research is needed in this regard, of course. There were some additional benefits for SCMC observed, the most important of which is that students in online classes preferred to use English exclusively in discussions, while in face-to-face settings, some learners frequently resorted to their first language, which was interesting. So pedagogical implications for students and teachers. This research highlights the importance of increasing knowledge and skills in using technology in classrooms and encourages teachers and students to maximize the use of technology in teaching and learning. And for education policymakers, it calls on them to support technology-enhanced educational settings and emphasizes the need for improvements in learning and teaching materials, classroom facilities, and teacher training courses. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Azadeh. Very well timing. Excellent. 12 minutes.
Thank you.
Does anyone have a question to Dr. Azadeh? Do you have questions or interventions? Any question? If not, then we move to the next person. The next person, we go back to Khawla.